Looky here, looky here. It's Christmas. This came today, just a few minutes ago. Can't tell you where it came from. I can tell you who it came from. This is my pan and tilt for the Skyhunter, mini Skyhunter, I'm sorry. I built my own from Thingiverse for the Skyhunter and the mini Talon. They're supposed to use micro servos, but I wasn't able to get them to work that well. So this is my next solution attempt. Ooh, I'm excited. Oh, look at there. Parts is parts. I told you it was Christmas. Just want to rip it open. I don't want to damage it. So, this is the last part for the mini Skyhunter. Get this on there and get ready. All right, here it comes, guys. Oh, I can already see it. I like it. Ooh, look at that. Don't want to pull on it and break it. So I'll try to rotate the servo. There we go. Look at that. Nice platform for a Runcam 2 4K. I've actually changed my, ooh, look at that, place to mount the split, little bitty split camera. Yeah, baby. That's the ticket. Using micro servos. Looks like pretty good servos. I can just feel it in my hand. It's light as all get out. Yeah. I think this is going to go down in the top for the mini Skyhunter and just be perfect. I like it. I'm really pleased with it. Well, the construction seems to be well done. I think this is going to work great. Okay, let me get the top of the mini Skyhunter. This is the plywood that comes with the mini Skyhunter. And of course, this is a simple, not much left to do on the mini Skyhunter. I'll have to paint this and paint the front, but that's about it. Screw this to the screw the pan and tilt to the plywoods, no big deal. Gonna have to cut me a little notch in the front. Again, no big deal. Other than that, that's gonna work perfectly. Like I said, do paint this black, paint the whole front little section that comes off black. More time's gonna be taken mounting the flight camera. And like I say, this is a Runcam split now, not the setup I intended even when I ordered this. But the Runcam split electronics board will mount up here in the wind, which is good, cooling. All right, let's get started on it. I glued up the top for the mini Talon, the front section. I just came back over and looked at it, and I definitely overused the Gorilla Glue this time. Oh, that'll clean up pretty easily. Some up here probably, yep, some back there. That cleans up pretty easily. Just got a couple of pieces of plywood on each side and a clamp, and got downward pressure over as much of the surface of the little piece of plywood that I'm gluing to the foam front of the mini Talon. Figured I'd go ahead and glue it up, get it cleaned up, and then paint the whole thing black. If I paint the undersurface before I put the plywood on, it just messes with it gluing down well with that thin paint layer in there. And it's really cold right now. It's been in the single digits wind chill. Can't do a lot of painting. It's one of the things that's going to slow this down a little bit, because the run cam split went in this pan. Tilt mechanism just so well it wasn't even funny. It was a little hard to get it in there. It's really tight, which it's so perfect. The holes here, you would put a screw through to screw into the holes on the camera to mount it. I don't even think they're required. I mean, that's not going to, if it crashes, it lets it move around a little bit and absorb the energy instead of breaking. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. The little split comes with some very small standoffs. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this up on top. Now, yeah, put this up on top. Try to center this wire. Keep it a little slack. Bend it just a little bit underneath and come out here and figure me 4 holes that I can put those standoffs in. And I'm going to bolt this down to the top with screws and the standoffs that come with it, right like that. You're going to think I'm strange, I bet, but I might just do 3 standoffs, leave this hole open to put a very small tie wrap through and tie wrap up this cable, because this pulling back and forth where these solder joints are on that board, it's just going to break it pretty damn quick. Got to have some strain relief for this so this doesn't move. Maybe put this under. When I put that standoff on, I'll put 4 standoffs on, and I'll push this wire back under, put standoff on, and then right there I'll just wrap a tie wrap around that little bit of wire, and that'll be my strain relief. And I think that'll last a lot longer than, if these 3 wires are pulled. They're soldered to that board really well, but lateral motion on them or whatever, that's gonna break pretty quick. So I think that's a good solution. Line it up, drill me 4 pilot holes, drill me 4 holes for the standoffs, put this in that position around and put the standoff in, and then come back and just put a very small tie wrap on the front, kind of pulling that wire together, and that'll be a good strain relief. So due to curing on the Gorilla Glue, I won't be able to paint it till tomorrow. I got to figure out a way to paint it. You can see the little standoffs right there that come in the kit. And I can put the nut on the bottom, and then there's actually little screws in there that I'm pretty sure go down in the tops of the standoffs. So that's the way I'm going to do it. I don't think there's, well, start to say there ain't much else I can do tonight, but I can start getting those holes positioned with some kind of small hand drill or something. What else? I know about what the length is of my servo cables now, so I can go ahead and put some extensions inside the fuselage on the flight controller. I'm going to leave the wing on, so I'm not going to be Maybe I should bring the connector up. We'll look at that here in a second. So there's the holes drilled, the standoffs mounted, and the board mounted to the top of the unit of the tilt. Still got to get me a little tie wrap or something. Tie wrap right in here. Maybe some hot glue. That might be smarter. Oops. Hit the tripod. Can't hot glue this little switch. I have to look and see what kind of really small tie wraps I got and what might work there. But that'll let it kind of blow in the breeze for cooling. Don't like that SD card sitting there like that. Seems like that would almost be like a reed in a saxophone and might vibrate out of there. But you can always buy another SD card and then figure out a solution for that problem. Maybe I should wrap a tie wrap this way around the whole thing so that SD card can't come out. Not tight on the SD card, but just enough so it can't move out. I'll figure out something. Well, I did find a really small tie wrap and oops, put it on the inside and brought it out here. And this is really quite secure and doesn't pull on these wires. Now the connector's inside here, what's going to come loose now, but it's always something. There's a tie wrap across the top to keep the SD card in. You can see by as much as it's bowed that it's really not pulling. It's not pulled tight enough over here before I cut it off. So it can be moved to the side and the SD card can be taken out, read, and put back in. Oops. Not as easy to do through the camera lens as it is when you're looking at it. Put back in, and then the tie wrap just slid a little bit. It might be loose enough to blow to the back in the wind. Who knows? We'll see what we can do there. And it has room to be cinched up just a little tighter. Yeah, it might not hurt to cinch it up a little tighter. It can still be moved to the side without pushing on it. Yeah, there it is, cinched up another 1/4 of an inch. And now the slack in it just clears the card and just doesn't allow you to take it off and be able to reinsert it and slide it back over for the flight. Now it's got enough tension where that will work. Oh well, we'll fly it and see what happens. Well, this is a little getting the cart in front of the horse, but when I ended up putting the Skyhunter together in the end, I did end up just taking that standoff, that fourth standoff right here, out and use the hole to tie wrap both the wire for the servo that's right there. Oops, I forgot about the tilt up. I've got to go back and give this wire some slack. Boy, glad I saw that. Yep, would have pulled that wire right out of that servo. Keep going over it and over it and over it till I find all my mistakes. And then that sort of anchors both that wire and the camera wire. I've still got to figure how far the arc is on the turn, and I have ordered some sleeving for this. I'm awful prone to just letting it blow in the breeze, which probably damages it, but that's, I like to fly. I haven't got to fly much yet. So I did go back with the putting the tie wrap through that hole. Well, I did extend that wire a little in that. It's pretty well captured in there. That's about as far up as it's going to tilt. That sure does leave a lot of wire hanging out there, but I still do. This wire could just be going straight this way, but without this length being sort of looks like it's wasted here, but I don't think it is, because anchoring them both up here and then later getting these two wires sort of captured together but not stiff so that it can further rotate is going to be quite helpful, I think. Need to put the phone down. I thought I had an extension in there long enough, but I think I'm going to have to go with a little longer extension on that one back to the flight controller. And that's the end of the camera wire. Yeah, camera wire. I got the correct extension on it, but the servo wire, no. And I think it's just going to be smarter maybe to drop the servo wire out of there. This length would certainly make it workable. I'll have to play with a couple of different ways here. Yeah, so might just be better to have this wrapped. Yeah. Boy, it's going to be a lot of wire hanging out in the air, but I don't see anything I can do about it. So I'm just going to go with that. I'll tape this wire or something if I'm maiden it before the wire wrap comes in. It's actually a wire loom, so we'll see. But I did make those small changes. The Gorilla Glue cured well enough for me to cut the hole in the foam and dry fit the pan and tilt unit to the front. Have to level it up. It rocks a little right and left. I didn't make my hole in the plywood big enough. The hot glue in here, when we glue it in, will take care of all that problem. We'll just make sure it's plumb while the glue dries, like that. But there it is. The only thing left to do is to paint it. Just gonna paint the whole thing black so it don't reflect, and snap it in. That is it. The mini Skyhunter will be finished and ready to be maidened. Find my flat black paint and we'll see what we can do here. It's so well painted, it just blends in. There you go. So I'm gonna let that dry overnight and just slide the servo down in the hole in the front with some hot glue, hook up a couple of wires, and then we'll declare the mini Skyhunter complete and ready to maiden. I think that's really funny. This is the whole pan and tilt with the camera in it. There's nothing else to put on it. Just hook it up And it weighs as much as the pan servo in my other 2 units. Well, this one shows at 67 grams. But there's a whole big difference in them. I mean, this is a big, heavy duty metal gear, just really crazy full size servo. Like they flew back in the 50s and 60s, and it's almost as big as the new assembly. So there is quite a bit of difference in weight, which I recognize straight up. So I still have 2 more of these servos that I bought that are for the other style that I made from the things I found on Thingiverse for the other 2 airplanes. So I do need to use them, but boy, that's a lot of weight. But the CG worked out great, and I'm still worried about the CG and the Mini Skyhunter because of those 2 big servos in the back. They're micro servos. They're not the full sized, but the 2 servos in the back on the rudder, they seem to have shifted the CG quite a bit to the rear. Well, there it is, fully assembled. The all up weight is 1,320 grams. I give you the Mini Skyhunter. A little bit of tuning on limits for the pan and tilt and such, and we're ready to maiden. Thank you.